When I sort of asked myself what did I want to paint, and I decided, well, paint what you know, and what you know is that landscape. When I use that word landscape, it's not just the Lake District, it's not just the natural landscape, whether that's in Mongolia or in Ecuador, all of which I've painted. It's actually wherever you happen to be, and I probably spend more of my time, I definitely spend more of my time in an urban environment. The project came about as the result of a chance conversation about how it might be interesting to follow the build process from beginning to end and record the changes within the structure itself, looking in, looking out at different times of the day as it grew and it was and eventually completed. In a way, this is an extension from a project that I was working on about 5 or 6 years ago. I was working at Liverpool Anglican Cathedral for about a year. I was given access in various parts of the cathedral that the public don't get to, and I was able to produce a series of drawings of the building's interior. This then led to another project at Cologne Cathedral. In many respects, this is just another cathedral, same sort of proportions in a way, but clearly, you know, the architecture and the usage is very, very different. One's very contemplative and the other one is a working environment. This project was all about change, movement, development. Nothing was very static for very long. In fact, everything was just a complete changing sort of canvas, really. A lot of the work originates here, either in literally little scribbles that I produce, or sometimes with a bit of colour. It originates in quite small form, then it's actually taken back into the studio and then developed into paintings or drawings that are worked on. A painting is just a bridge between the previous one and the next one. You know, I often say that one of the most pleasurable things that I get as being an artist is to actually see a body of work on the wall, so you can actually see that process of change in your mind visually, and you can't do that where you paint because everything's stacked up behind everything else and you can't get enough of it out, but in an exhibition sense it's much easier to do, and that's such a reward for a painter. There are 12 project paintings which are actually going into #1 spinning fields. I always knew that there would be a lot more work produced at the same time in tandem with those 12 paintings, and that's all part of the learning process for me, learning about the project itself. And it's those paintings that are going to go into an exhibition at Contemporary 6 Gallery. It's called New Lines in Space. This is actually a very precise, logical site, and everything is planned down to the nth degree, which I probably knew but didn't quite appreciate until I was actually sort of here. And I certainly did appreciate how that was going to affect the type of work that I was making. I remember my friend Miles Richmond, the painter, who himself was taught by Bomberg, David Bomberg. He used to say that Bomberg painted in volumes of light to kind of embody the tactile. And I think what he meant was that he was trying to represent space as something that could be explained by the imagination of the viewer. I've also come to realise that a painting's never actually finished. Insofar as there's nothing else you can add to it. It's just that that's where it is at the moment.